It is another moment here on the Profit Point Show, and every week we talk to us about what we should do to grow our businesses. In this season, it is a season of fuel subsidy removal, and for our first segment, we will be looking at that, how it affects the SMEs, the entrepreneurs, and how it will affect the economy. On the second segment, we have a vocational skill, and we'll talk about what that industry will do to youth who want to use the aspects of the sector to make income and make their living a worthwhile. That will be the setting on the Profit Point Show for today. When we'll come back from this break, we'll delve into the fourth segment of the show, which is the business review segment. So we'll see you after this break. Now, this is the business review segment, and our topic is the impact of subsidy removal on businesses. And our guest is Asiwaju Olubunmi Oluwadare. He is the founder of www.unipreneur.com, and he will be telling us what we need to know about subsidy removal and how it will affect businesses, entrepreneurs, be it the large ones, be it the middle ones, or the smallest one in the economy. Mr. Asiwaju Oluwadare, welcome to the Profit Point Show.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me this morning again. I'm excited to be in the studio again.
All right, now let's talk about subsidy removal. First, subsidy removal for a layman. And when you talk about subsidy removal, the only thing they will say that is that the price of fuel has gone up. But for someone like you who knows about it, can you tell us what really is a fuel subsidy removal?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Number one thing, when we're talking about subsidy, first of all, we have to define what subsidies is all about. And to be truthful, subsidy regime in Nigeria is a total scam from the beginning. The whole idea was laid on a wrong foundation.
All right, Asiwaju, I think there is a problem with our connection. Asiwaju will join us very, very soon. The essence of this topic is for the business owners to know how to go about their businesses in this time, because the high cost of transportation will tell on their businesses. What they buy is what they will sell, and those who are buying might complain of the high in price, high in transportation, hike in transportation, hike in... All right, Asiwaju is here. Continue, please.
Yeah, so the subsidy itself is a total scam. So it's not existing from the beginning, because a lot of people are making a lot of huge money from the subsidy. So ordinarily, I think it's long overdue. A lot of past presidents have tried to remove it, but they don't have the willpower. So that's why I commend the president, Tinubu, for have the goodwill to remove the subsidies at last, and it's gone forever. So we all thank God for this, boldness from the visionary leader who can take this bold step at this particular time that we are facing a lot of challenges in our country.
All right, the essence of this program is to know how the impact will be on businesses. As we speak, there are hike in transportation, and the people are complaining bitterly about those hikes, and it is affecting a lot of people. Now, one of those things that is affected is our businesses. And let's talk about businesses, since it is your area of focus. How do you think businesses will fare at this moment?
Yeah, thank you very much for that, because that's my constituency, the entrepreneurship ecosystem and SMEs. We have always been, the receiving end of government bad policy and, reforms every time. Subsidy is one of it. We have a banking reform, we have a lot of reform that's, the backlash of it goes to entrepreneurs. And presently now, a lot of things have jacked up, from the value chain, of what this fuel subsidy has caused. You can see the food is, hiking up in the market. The cost of transportation immediately drop up. So a lot of things are happening, which have a negative impact on businesses in Nigeria, most especially the startup business. Number one thing, the area that's really affecting the business now is the power. Most of the SMEs rely on generator to power their businesses or mini factory. So they have no choice to go and buy that fuel and hire it. So definitely that will add, to the cost of their production, and that will affect the value chain of the business. If the government put the power in place, is going to cushion the effects, of this subsidy removal. The transportation, you have to pay the cost of transportation to go to your various office or your various fund, the cost of transporting goods from one location to the other. So it's having a very, very, negative impact on various SMEs across Nigeria, and it's not palatable at all. So at this point, it's two-way. Let me put it two-way. When they remove subsidy, I look at the negative and positive side of it for SMEs and entrepreneurs. In as much we were talking about, it's going to have a negative impact, there's a positive side of it that is very huge, and that's why knowledge economy is very important to know. Now they have removed the subsidy. What of the mixed energy? Most of the countries in the world are talking about green energy. They are moving away from fossil oil, to electric, vehicle, to solar power, to biomass, to a lot of things. So we shouldn't put our mind 100% that it has to be fuel. That's where we're getting it wrong. So it's a new open door for an astute entrepreneurs to know, to see what area can I come in, how can I convert what I have into another thing that won't spend money on fuel. I can recall that I'm one of the first person that introduced solar tricycle to Nigeria government in 2019. Solar power tricycle, we have sun in abundance. Why not use our sun to power our transportation? And the project did not see the light of the day because of the power will be at that time. So we always see things ahead of time as an entrepreneur, and we are looking at how we can apply entrepreneurial intervention to solve all these problems. So the positive side of it is more higher than the negative to and a thinking entrepreneurs. As at this morning, a lot of people are coming up with a lot of, you can convert, your energy in your house from generator, to solar, to inverter, to a lot of things that are coming up. CNG is there, gas, we have gas in abundance. Gas could power a lot of things. So I want to admonish entrepreneurs and SMEs to think out of the box and without box. If you're still thinking outside the box, throw the box away and think without box, so that we can be able to navigate the effects, of this subsidy removal, in our, business ecosystem. But it's really affecting SMEs across Nigeria. There's no doubt about it. But I see the negative and I see the positive, which is more higher than the negative.
All right, let's dwell on the negative for a little while, and later on look at the benefit it will be on businesses. For the negatives, what will be the resultant negative on the business? For instance, now, for a small-scale entrepreneur, what will be the immediate negative effect that it will have? And on the long run, what will be the positive effect on them?
Yeah, thank you. The immediate effect is the cost of running the business, because we are a country that we have no power. Let me put it that way. We don't have, most of the states don't have 10 hours electricity supply steadily. And how do you want industrial revolution to happen in that kind of environment? How do you want productivity where there's no power? So nearly, at least let's put at 75 to 80% of SMEs, run on their own power supply, which they use petrol or diesel to power such business. So that one alone, from moving from 189 or 200 naira to about 500 or something, you can see the addition, and that will add to the cost of production, which will have a negative effect on the product coming out from the factory or even the services. What of the transportation? If you see the road in Lagos at this morning now, you see it's very scanty. You know, a lot of people cannot go. They are looking at what they can do because to food your tank line, you're going to spend a minimum wages for people that have about 80 to 90 liters capacity engine. So you can see what I'm saying. That's negative, and it's going to have a multi-dimensional impact, a negative impact on the socio-economic of Nigeria, which we are all witness. Because if you're spending 2,000 naira before, you might likely spend about 5,000 naira per day on transportation. So it's going to, those are the things that this thing, that will add negative, impact, to SME, ecosystem. There's no doubt about that. And there's nothing we can do than to look at the solution to the problem that is long overdue, in our mission.
All right, let's dwell on the benefits now. You said on the long run, there will be a lot of benefit if we can diversify and look other ways to run our businesses. Yesterday, I heard a news saying that says Cameroon motorcyclists are protesting that there is a hike in Nigerian petroleum products and it is affecting them in Cameroon. Are these kind of things going to encourage SMEs to go on, especially those who depend on Nigerian oil to survive?
Yeah, thank you very much. I saw the news as well. For a nation like ours, subsidizing fuel for the entire West Africa country, we can see, the outburst of the news. You can all see that all the thing we are talking about that we are subsidizing, West Africa country. If you look at it in a simple mathematics, you got a fuel from Nigeria at 189 naira, you move to Cameroon or Niger or Republic of Benin, and you're selling it about 700 naira. See the profit margin. So, you can see what's going on there. But when you look at the positive side of it, honestly, it's time for our government, especially our leadership from the federal to the state to the local government, to come to the drawing table. I heard there's going to be a palliative. Me, I'm not too sure about the palliative because that's the word we have been using for the past 20 years, to siphon a lot of money from the government cover palliative. We should move away from palliative. We should look at how can we holistically solve the socio-economic problem of Nigeria and make the nation productive. And the only solution to that is massive entrepreneurship intervention. That's what you should be talking about, not palliative. Give them 10,000 naira, increase their salary, the monthly will go down the drain because we are not a productive nation. So every state and federal local government should look at how can they set up an industrial ops, farm ops. How are they going to train our young people on entrepreneurship with knowledge economy as the foundation? So those should be our palliative now, because a long-run solution is better than a short-run solution. The last administration put a lot of palliative, 5,000 trader money. What? No impact. People are collecting the 5,000 naira. You cannot even buy, a 5 loaf of bread for them. So I think we should think, away from the palliative and see. And entrepreneurs on their own should look at how can we offer solution. As at this morning, I've seen about 4 or 5 companies from abroad saying, subsidy left Nigeria. How can we partner together and have solar street light? How can we partner together to have a solar generator? How can we partner together to have a wind turbine? Those are the solutions.
Outside Nigeria.
You said what?
I said, and those initiatives are working outside Nigeria.
Yes, because it's a mixed energy. Hyundai as a company is looking at by year 2035 to not to manufacture processed fuel again. They want to go basically to electric vehicle. So we should think away from subsidy removal. We should look at the bigger view on what can we do to move away from fossil oil to green energy, which is in all over the world. It's electric vehicle, it's solar power vehicle, it's biomass, power generation. So a lot of people are moving from what we are discussing today to a bigger picture of what energy is all about, and that's what they call mixed energy, solution. And that's what you should be talking about now. And that's what should be the mindset of every entrepreneur and SMEs in Nigeria at this particular time we find ourselves.
Okay, now let's profile solution, since it is your area of expertise. Let's profile solution for SMEs, those in large capacity and those in the medium capacity. What do you think, let's tabulate now, what do you think they should really do at this moment? Because running costs will rub off on the production cost, and at the long run, everybody will bear the brunt. So what should be the immediate solution to all of these from the entrepreneur's side?
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me put it this way. Now, one of the monster ravaging the entrepreneurship, or let me put the SME ecosystem in Nigeria, is this subsidy removal. The second one is the single exchange window that Mr. President said to take away, which is one of the monsters as well. If we want to do it at this moment, to do a lot of things, the number one thing is, how do we make loan available to entrepreneurs, to make this present situation to be easy for them. Access to finance, access to knowledge economy, which is my field, because the challenges we have in the past that we have not even looking at it is, we believe that we're talking about economy, we don't even know that the economy without entrepreneurship is a mirage. Economy is a value chain of entrepreneurship, is the foundation. We were talking about economy, there's no foundation. So I think we should go beyond palliative, go beyond the short-term solution to look at how can we create a great ecosystem from the knowledge economy to access to finance, to pass holiday for the company that are ready to do something to add value, use our products. You can see we're talking about now how many people patronizing made in Nigeria products. So the government should make at least 65% of their procurement to be local content driven. It's because the money we are taking abroad, if the money is circulated at them, it's going to bring a lot of things down drastically. So I think at this point, the right peg in the right role in leadership is the system. The new minister of economy, or whatever you want to call it, must be someone that understands the economy. You can't bring a lawyer to go and be a minister of industry or trade or investment. No, we have to get someone that understands the market. You can't put a banker to go and be the CBN governor. For God's sake, he has to be an entrepreneur, a serious entrepreneur for that sake, that understands the industry. And we have to change a lot of things. The way we are listening, the way we are doing our things have to change. Any leadership that's going to make things to work, that will make Nigeria to be a productive nation, will think without bosses. And it has to.
Okay. Asiwaju Oluwadare is saying entrepreneurs should think outside the box if you want to survive this subsidy removal era, which is, according to him, a short term. You must think outside the box. You must have the knowledge of the economy. You must know what the economy is saying.
The history of China. They engage and back in massive entrepreneurship and innovation development. And that's where they are the production up for the world today. But we're still talking about economy. What of the raw resources we have? Nigeria is purchasing power is in trillions. We have arable lands. Over 65% of our land are good for agricultural development. We have not even touched our sea. Our sea is full of seafood, untapped. So when we're talking about the human resources, where population is about 240 million people, out of that population we have 75% plus of youth. That's energy. So how do we convert this to productivity should be our focus, and to make it happen is going to be a massive entrepreneurship powered by visionary leadership, knowledge economy, technology and innovation. If we are not going that direction, it's going to be the same result we're going to achieve. I listened to the news about a few hours ago now that the vice president should set up a committee or whatever with the governors to look at how they can push palliative, a lot of governments, are saying that 3 days those things cannot work more. If you ask civil servants to work not 2 days, what are they doing before? Are they productive? Are you funding or productivity by paying salary? If there is no crude oil, will anybody be a civil servant again? So we should look beyond crude oil or revenue accrued from the crude oil. We should look at how can we be productive? How can we convert our natural resources into what we need and what we can export? That should be our thinking. So when we are still thinking about, do this, we are talking about bringing a lot of CNG buses. We have done it before. I think 2012. They brought the law of where are the CNG buses today? Why are we not even producing locally? Why are we not looking at how to set up the assembly plan to be doing all this? Let me tell you something. I'm very deep in electric vehicle. This is my over 10 years in that field. If you see the framework of electric car, my dad, if you see the framework, it's as simple as anything. It's only 4 components that make electric vehicle work. So we should think beyond, we're going to, reduce. Some people are even talking about the fuel, they should subsidize the fuel in such a way. No, we have gone past that one. We should look at the solution. What can we do? Must we not have train between Lagos and Abuja? What does it cost to do that? And another thing that will advise the government going forward, remove your hand from a lot of things. Call for entrepreneurial intervention. I wrote a letter to the former President Buhari in 2020, which I tagged entrepreneurial intervention to solve Nigeria problem. If I were to be president in Nigeria today, I would list all the socio-economic challenges facing Nigeria, and I will call for entrepreneurial intervention. Practical example is Dangote refinery. Building refinery in Nigeria is not working, and Dangote say, "Hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I'll make it work." It's going to start, pushing fuel into the market from the end of July or first week in August. So every socio-economic sector, there is a challenge in Nigeria that we can apply entrepreneurial intervention. A lot of people don't want to hear this, but it can work. The second airport in Lagos is a practical example of entrepreneurial intervention from one of my great mentors, Chief Babalaki. So we have a young entrepreneur who can make things happen. I've been saying this thing for long. Let me give you an example. In Abeokuta, where you are, 10 entrepreneurs can provide a 1,000 bus stop at no cost to government. I wish the government is listening to me. At no cost to the government. Nice bus stop with about 80% local content. A lot of things, we can even make it a direct color and unique without government. So if government say, "Oh, we have this problem," oh yeah, come. If you're an entrepreneur, you can solve this problem. Come. People like us will jump into that. That's what we'll be looking for. We spend our money, we manage it well. But government is putting their hand in everything, cannot make things to work forward in this country. Look at Dubai as a practical example. I wish our leader, they travel. I know they travel around the country, but do they imbibe the leadership style, the leadership quality of how these things are working in this part of the world? So, to me, every entrepreneur listening to me this morning should know that the fuel subsidy regime that is gone is an opportunity for us to provide solution, to look beyond, the petroleum or petroleum products and see what can we do, to generate, power. And thank God, before Buhari left, there is the law on electricity or power generation is now, subject to state and local government development, meaning local government, state can generate and distribute their own power. One stop a town like a state like my state, Ekiti State, to have a power generation. The total megawatt that we need in that state is less than 300 megawatt. So why are we on national grid? So a lot of things we have to look at, innovative solution. I'm going to add on this. Thank you.
All right, before we end this segment, I want us to look at how to draw a lot of youth into this net we've been talking about, that is using their entrepreneurial skills to drive the economy and telling the government to relax a bit for people to use their God-given initiative and look locally so that everything will be going on fine with the country. Now how can youth come into this net you've been talking about? Are you on that mission? Are you doing what you are supposed to do as one of those people in that sector? Do you think youth are ready to help the government to move the country forward? Because that is the main thing that we should be looking at now.
Thank you very much. No, an average Nigerian have entrepreneurial mindsets. There's no doubt about that. The energy for entrepreneurship is there, but our educational system is totally, obsolete in today's reality. From primary school to university, we have to jettison our curriculum, educational curriculum. We have to look at the reality. Entrepreneurship should be the foundation of our education system. What are we going to do when we are pushing in millions of graduates into the market to look for job where there's no job anywhere? And that's people like us created a platform that we can create job makers. The government should move away from creating job opportunity to job makers. Job makers will in turn create job opportunity for job seekers. That's the thinking. So to make it happen, we have to go into massive entrepreneurship from primary school. A primary school pupil should know that you can make paper or furniture from tree. That's the value chain. They should know that you can do this in the value chain of a sector. So our education system should be knowledge economy driven. That's where we're going to start. And it must start from primary school to university. As you are graduating, you must have a skill. The world is turning to skill. Artificial intelligence is basically going to do everything in the next 10 years. So I think we should change our education curriculum, and that's why people like us establish unipreneur.com to see how we can start, raising job makers across Africa, most especially Nigeria, to create job opportunity and add positive value to our economy.
All right, thank you, Asiwaju Olubumi Oluwadare, the founder of www.unipreneur.com. Thank you for coming on the program, and thank you for telling us what the government should do, the entrepreneurs should do, and those consumers, what they should do in this economy. Thank you so much for coming on the Profit Point Show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Now we want to go for the stop. When we come back, it will be time for us to have the second segment, which is basically on vocational skills. See you after this break. Now this is the sectorial segment. We'll be talking about mini importation skill, and I want to tell youths on on how to start this kind of business, tell them how to start, tell them what they will need to start. And we have in the studio someone who can tell us all of that. She is Oreoluwa Soyoye, an entrepreneur, and someone who has been in the business for some times now. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, now let's talk about mini importation. When we talk about mini importation, what does it mean?
Basically, mini importation is just buying from overseas, then coming to sell here to make profits.
Okay, overseas, which of the countries?
Different country, depending on whatever you are buying.
Okay.
So, for instance, let me use China as an example. Majorly, things comes from China every day. So, our major importation in this country is from China.
And China is taking over the world. All right, now, is mini importation a good business? Tell us about it. Why do you think youth should go into that?
It's a very good business one because it is very lucrative, and it actually eradicates some costs like productive or manufacturing costs. So it helps in terms of emergency because there are some goods we can't produce here by ourselves. So by importing it, it's very easy and you make your own money. So it is very lucrative. Very, very lucrative.
Okay, so how easy is it for someone to start?
I will not say it is easy and I will not say it is easy because you need to go through the learning process. You need to know the basics of importation.
Tell us, that's why we are here on the program. Tell us the basics.
Basically, we have different processes. You need to go through people that have been in that business.
Okay.
We have steps. We have steps. That's another question. Actually, we have steps, but then go through somebody that knows about it, that will put you through the guidelines, the steps in importing.
Okay. Now, educate us. Tell us the steps. What is the first thing someone who wants to come must know? Do they need any educational background to start? Do they need to go to the four walls of an institution to learn? Do they need someone to tutor them? For how long will it take for someone to teach someone how to start this mini importation?
Yeah, little or no education actually, since the world is evolving with technologies. With your phone, first thing you just need to have a brand, have a business name, a registered business. Because you want to go into importation, you must have a registered business. Then the second step after registering under CAC.
Okay.
CAC, that's the Corporate Affairs Commission.
For Nigeria?
Yes, for Nigeria.
Do you need to register outside the country?
No,
okay.
no, that will serve. Then the second one is getting a reliable source, e-commerce source.
Okay.
Now we have different e-commerce like AliExpress, 1688, eBay. You have to know and have a reliable source because we have scammers too.
Okay.
So you must basically know them and talk to them, talk to your suppliers because you will be in Nigeria, they will be over there. So you have to have a reliable source, not just do it because you know the site already, but you have to have good suppliers over there. Then the third one, know the products.
Okay.
Know what you are buying. Don't just follow the crowd. You want to import something, you should already know what you are importing. Know your products, select your market, know your target market. Then before you proceed to your payment, after you've known your product, you want to, for instance, you want to import clothes. You already know what and what you are bringing. Then the next one is payments.
Okay.
You have to choose a proper and preferred means of payment. It's now easy for everybody now. Instead of you going through the process of going to, you can use Alipay, PayPal. So depending on your suppliers. Then the next one is shipping company. You have to know a good and a reliable shipping company that can bring in your goods from China. So I'm taking China as an example. So you can look for a shipping company. We have different and most of them are always slow and some are not reliable. But then you must have and know a reliable shipping company. Then the last one is advertise your business. Once your products get to you or your goods get to you, advertise your business. That's just it. Once you follow this guideline, it's going to be easy for you in.
I think the way you've been saying it is not really easy because if you have to register your business, will go to know a reliable source, it will take time.
Yes.
It will take
It's
time.
not a day job actually, so it's a process. So you can't just wake up one day and say you want to start a day. So it's a process. You need to follow that process actually.
So talking about products, what type of products is Nigeria allowing to come into the country? We have some contrabands.
Yes.
So what type of products can fall under the mini importation business?
All products basically falls under mini importation, depending on the quantity you are bringing in.
Okay.
So you can bring in shoes, clothes, bags, branded stuff, apart from importing rice and the likes. Well, every other, even machines, kitchen utensils, you can bring them. Jewelry, perfumes, clothes, lace, you can import them depending on the quantity. That is why you say mini importation.
Okay, now talking about the duty that you must pay on those goods. I know that there are a lot of dues to be paid. So tell us about the duties. What type of what quantity of goods requires payment for duty payment, or you just bring in and you just own your goods?
The only goods you don't pay duty on is any goods below 50,000 naira. Above 50,000, you will pay duties, depending on what you are importing. So if you are importing clothes, there's a particular duty you pay for it. If you are importing shoes, particular duty depending on what you are bringing. But exemption are for people that are bringing in goods below 50,000 naira.
So who pays those duty?
We pay actually. You importing it, you must put it in your budget that once it gets here, you are paying. Meanwhile, most of the shipping company pays on our behalf. Then when it gets to the warehouse, you can clear everything to make it easier and faster. Though they will actually add their own.
Definitely, it's a business.
Yes, so indirectly you are paying it yourself with higher price.
Okay, they'll just help you with the process,
Yes.
and you give them the cash.
Yes.
All right, now the other time we were talking about learning, you didn't tell us the number of days or years it will take someone to learn, because the processes you highlighted about 5 processes to follow. How long will it take to learn?
Depending on the person, how determined the person is. I used actually 3 days to learn it, because as I was learning, I was practicalizing it. I wasn't just waiting. So depending on the person, so you can actually.
That means you must be ready financially before.
Financially, yes, financially. So you can actually take, let's say, minimum of 5 days. You already know the process and start importing your goods. With the mentorship aside, because I will not say you already know everything, but if you need to ask anything, then go to your teacher or your tutor. Please, I'm in this process, how can I? So
that means the tutor must have used like 10 years on the business or above.
Might not even be up to, because most times there are some people that started last year now, they're already big in the business. It is the way you upgrade yourself in the business, because we have different, because new sites are out now. So you need to keep upgrading yourself.
Okay, tell us the pitfalls to avoid. The other time you talked about there are scams all over, and for this kind of business that you do, e-commerce, that means people will fall victim a lot. So tell us what people should avoid so that they will not be scammed.
Firstly, I usually tell people, please know your market, know your target market first. Avoid following the crowd. And another pitfall is exchange rates. Exchange rates, because if you are following the Google-based exchange rates, then you will have a big problem calculating your money. So you must know your exchange rate. That is asking your supplier, how much is the rate, because if you are using Google or any other, then it's either you fall below or too high. Then shipping company, you must have a reliable shipping company. You must know, because that's one of the problem in this importation business. If you don't have a good shipping company, it's going to flop it. Imagine you expecting goods in the next 14-20 days, and it's taking like 3-6 months, and you already have a target market that this is when it is going to come. And another thing is not having the right team to push it. You don't have people that will influence it. Even you yourself, you are not talking about the product.
That means you can't work on it by yourself.
You can actually work on it by yourself. You must dedicate, you want to do this, you must dedicate all your time, because you must tell people, in fact, your pages, everything on your pages should be about what you are bringing in, even if it is not available. You need to educate people, let them know this is what you'll be having in stock. So if you are not doing all of that, that's another limitation for you.
That means you must be a full-time business person to do this kind of business.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the capital to start with. How much you think someone should set aside before you go into mini importation?
Depending on the business, actually. I will take clothes for instance. If you are importing clothes, you must have, you can actually start with 50,000. Because I remember that I started mine with 25,000. That was in 2017. But now you can't even use 25,000 to bring. So depending on what you are importing. So if you are importing clothes, for instance, you can actually start as low as 150,000 naira. But if you are importing washing machine, you can't use 150 to buy anything from there. So depending on the business, that is why you need to go through people that are in the business. Because if you just say, I have money, this, that,
and you want to go into it.
Yes.
Okay, tell us the mini importation business, does it have segments or different types of trade? Do we have, or it's just import, bring in and sell?
Yes, basically.
Once
you know, because we have different sites for different products. So once you know this is where you are supposed to buy it, and you already have a supplier, just bring in, buy and sell. That's just it.
Is it lucrative?
85% lucrative.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're encouraging you to come in?
Encouraging, yes.
85%, that's a lot.
85% lucrative.
Okay. Now tell us how it works. How do you think it will help the economy? How do you think it will help the youth's income? How do you think it will help the society? Because a lot of people believe when you are into mini importation, then you are prone to being scammed.
Yeah.
So how does it work? How will it work for the economy?
It's actually working for the economy because 60% of the youth now are into one business, even while they are in school. So it is indirectly giving employment, self-employment to people, not waiting for the government to employ jobs. So once you're into it, it's a job. You can see the process. If you can't be working in a bank and doing this job. You need to be in
focus.
Yes, full-time focus in the business. So by that, you've gotten your own employment. No need for you to start. It's now for you to venture into it, invest more. So it's helping the society and is actually helping the youth generally. Because between January and now, I've trained like 25-30 students who are doing better. Do extremely good now. So they won't have to wait for government to provide job for them. So it's helping the society and helping the individual.
So you've told us the benefits. So the youth should come in and help the economy. Now, lastly, before we go, what do you have for youth who think it is only the white-collar job? And white-collar jobs are no longer there nowadays. So tell us, what you think skill acquisition will do to everybody in the site?
I usually tell people around me is make your passion your profession.
Okay.
If white collar job is not forthcoming, look at what you can do that will bring money you like doing. So make your passion your profession. Once you make your passion your profession, don't give up on it. Because if you start today and you say it's not lucrative then, or it's not going as planned, you get fed up. No, consistency is the key to business. So once you are consistent in whatever you are doing, it will actually pay off. Yeah, it will.
All right, thank you so much, Oreolu Atemitope, for coming on the program. Thank you for talking to us about importation business. And I think some of our youths are there to come in as well and help the economy grow.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. And that will be all on the Profit Point Show. But before we leave the set, let's tell you that if you want to join the Profit Point Show, you are free to do that. And for advert and sponsorship, you can call this number 0803 396 0423 003 396 0423, and that will be a wrap on the Profit Point Show for this week. But we'll come back. We'll be having a swell time next time we see. My name remains Charity James, and have a very, very good day.